Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the August 8th regular board meeting of the Acton Agua Dulce Unified School District Board of Trustees. This is our first meeting of the 24-25 fiscal year. We'll call the meeting to order at 6:30. Could I have a roll call, please?
May's here.
Who's here?
Brianna Texoni here.
Mask on here.
Fallsgraf here. The agenda for the regular board meeting of August 8th, before we make a move, is there anything that you need to change on the agenda that was posted?
Not for this evening.
All righty then. Can I have a motion? I'll make the motion to approve the agenda as posted. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Call to question.
May's aye.
Who's I?
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Mask on it.
Fallsgraf, aye. Do we have any public participation at this time?
Not right now. Thank you.
We are going to go to closed session now. We may discuss some of the following items, at least one or none. Conference with labor negotiators, public employee discussion, discipline, dismissal, release, conference with legal counsel, and or student matters. Do I have I'll make the motion to adjourn to closed session.
I'll second.
Call the question.
May's aye.
Who's I?
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Mask on it.
Fallsgraf, aye. We will adjourn to closed session at 6:33 p.m. All right, welcome to the open session of the Acton Agua Dulce Unified School District Board of Trustees meeting of August 8th. We are calling the meeting to session at 7:42. Flag salute, please.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And I want to thank you while I'm. Listen very carefully. I would like to publicly recognize both of you for everything that you have done in this district for your own children, the children of others, and every child in this district. Please clap for these people. That's enough. Thank you. That was a joke. I will read the civility statement. When conducting the district's business, we will strive to communicate clearly and concisely with a respect for the time of others, listen objectively, carefully considering the opinions of others, understand the counterproductive effects of disruptive, demeaning, and intimidating behaviors. I'll remember that one myself. Understand and respect district policies and procedures, and maintain a respect for the rich history of the district and the efforts of those who have served us in the past, with these two again being a fine example. I will report out on some actions we took in closed session. We met to discuss the reentry of a previously expelled student. The board approved the superintendent's recommendation to reinstate the student on a vote of 4-0 with one abstention. We also approved an employee leave of absence with a vote of 5-0. And that's what we did in closed session. Catch up here. So we approve the agenda, but we're going to revisit the agenda. I'll move to rediscuss the agenda for tonight's meeting.
Second.
We are going to pull items 11A and B, and those will be discussed at the next meeting, which will be the fourth Thursday in August. So that said, it's time for public comments, recognition, report. Superintendent? Yeah, we should. I'll move that we do that, and we already seconded it. Call the question.
Mays, aye.
Jesus, I.
Brianna Texoni, I.
Mascon, aye.
Falls graph, aye. If I'm usually pretty quick, tonight's the night if you're gonna land one on me, so have at it. Superintendent, could you tell us about public comments,
Thank you.
recognition and reports?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Falsgraf. This evening, we have one public comment that's been pulled.
We have a David Perez. You have 3 minutes, sir.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Dave Perez.
Step up to the microphone.
You gotta be my big-
No, step up to the microphone.
I got a big voice, that's why.
So do I. We'll learn. Step up to the microphone. You have.
Good evening, everybody. Head coach David Perez.
You have 3 minutes starting now, sir. Watch the button. Go.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Head coach David Perez at Vasquez High School. Just want to introduce myself and our fellow teammates out here for football players. And wanted to say, I can't wait to see everybody out there Friday night, football game. And it's a pleasure to be here once again. I want to introduce my coaching staffs in the back, Coach Gary Rose and John Walker, along with the football team out there to your left, my right, Vasquez football squad. That's all, sir. Thank you.
Bet. So now it's the turn of the board members. Stay there. Bill,
Sorry, I'm new at this.
I see. Go ahead, Bill.
All right. Thank you all for being here. Thank you. Mr. Perez for taking this team on.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome, Coach Perez and all the other assistant coaches back there, and I look forward to seeing you guys at the games. So, just good luck.
Thank you.
I believe you met Ms. Taxoni, Brianna.
We have met. I'm very excited for this season. I see the smiles on the kids' faces. I've heard good things from parents, so I am definitely excited to come out and cheer on our Mustangs. So thanks for doing what you do, all of the coaches and all the volunteers. I know there's a couple of volunteers sitting up here, so thanks.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, everybody, for showing up, and thank you for coming to introduce yourself. That's a good start. Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you,
my
sir.
turn. Young man, are you happy this year? Are you gonna see through the season? We're not gonna be in here whining and freaking out about the coach, right? We're all gonna work together, right? Good. How's your teammate that was injured? How we doing? Did y'all go see him? Good, thank you. Good. Nice to see you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm glad you're not in Canoga Park. I understood you were gonna be there for life. Good evening, sir.
It was life or death, but you know what? Things happen.
Have another one.
Good.
Coach Celeste, come forward. Ma'am, before you begin, you have 9 hours to speak.
Thank you. I am Coach Celeste and I am the cheer coach. And we just wanted to come introduce ourselves as well. The Vasquez cheer team, we grew to 17 girls this year, which is almost double of last year. We're continuing to grow and we just wanted to show our support for the football team as well as all the other teams this year. So we just wanted to say thank you for all you do and we hope for your support for the rest of the year. In fact, we're going to invite you to a La Campana night. I will email you guys to let you know September, I think it's 4th, September 4th. So if you guys would like to come to our fundraiser, I'll send you an email reminding you. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. Wait, what-
Sorry.
how y'all doing? Is she doing a good job? Tell me if she's not, right? And then I'll tell her. Thanks, Les.
Thank you.
Who else do we have? Comments?
Ladies, I know most of you, but hey, thank you for being here. Thank you for doing everything you do. And we're going to be happy to see you on the field this year.
Thanks for coming. And my daughter, who's 9, aspires to be one of you guys when she gets to Vasquez. So she'll have to come out and watch you guys in action and see what she's looking forward to. Thank you.
I'm super excited for you guys. I know some of you who cheered last year, maybe the year before, when you had a really small squad. It's hard to get loud and it's hard to get excited when there's only a couple of you, but I know that you did a great job doing what you do. And I know it's just going to be 17 times that this year. I'm super excited to watch you guys too. So get loud. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, it's good to see so many participating. I think the cheer squad might have outdid the boys in showing up tonight. It looks like 17. How many are in the football team? Thank you for being here.
Would someone like to read the civility statement from Mr. Mascon, please? Okay, I don't want to get into diving into an empty swimming pool because we don't have a swim team yet, do we? Good. That's good. Good. I'm happy to hear that. But the last time I had this many people in the room, nearly every one of them wanted to kill me and my wife wasn't here. So there was another one. So guys, this means everything to us. A lot of the stuff that we do back there is difficult decisions. This is not a grateful job, but this is what makes us happy, guys. So thank you all for being here. I have another speaker Kate O'Mara.
Hi, I'm Kate O'Mara. So I'm here as a community member, but I also work here at the school district. So just real quick, for those of you who don't know me, I moved in during COVID. So I guess I'm here about 4 years. And then last year, to my great honor, I got to join the staff here as TOSA for the visual and arts program. So there was 2 things that I wanted to mention, kind of a segue because Paula is going to be talking to you about the more important things, but I get to do the fun stuff. And thank you for that, Paula. There's pictures of what we did last year. So I wanted to make sure that you had the opportunity to look at these. The slides are arranged TK to 4, some of the performances that we did. The High Desert School is together, and then some of the artists that we invited here. So there's that. And in the slideshow, there'll be more pictures of the high schoolers. And what I also wanted to do, and I'm so pleased that there are so many people here, part of what I do in my job is as community liaison. And on Sunday at 2:00 at the Presbyterian Church, there's going to be a sing-along. And I pulled out my guitar and dusted it off. So I'll be there playing along with everybody who's singing, and everybody from the community is invited. That's 2:00 on Sunday for the sing-along. And I hope to see a lot of you there. There's a lot of songs that you'll just know, right? And we'll have words too. And it's totally okay to mess up. And I promise I will mess up so y'all feel comfortable. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Alexa, we all love you. Can you write that on a piece of paper like a sick note? Perfect. Does anybody else want to speak to us this evening on a non-agendized item? No? Wonderful. Let's take a short recess. You guys have homework to do, right? Say yeah. Say yeah. That way you can get out of here, right? No? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, I'm off. Yeah, that's under the superintendent report. Do you want to move that up so everybody can? I move the superintendent report up in the agenda.
I'll second.
Call to question.
Mays, aye.
Yes, Susai.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Mask on that.
Falls you aye. You're on.
Since we have students here, of course. All right. So Alex, you're ready, right? So tonight I'll be covering goals 1 and 2 of our plan: student achievement and effective instruction, instruction and leadership, student achievement. It's all about you guys out there. I'd like to kick off the student achievement part by sharing a shining example of our community coming together for our students with donations from community groups as well as fundraising efforts by parents to make this one effort come to reality. The cross-country team spent a week at Mammoth, close to a week, training and conditioning with the guidance and encouragement of their coaches. In addition, we had a parent volunteer supporting the initiative at Mammoth. I'm not going to steal the thunder from Ms. Schneider, one of the coaches, but I want to thank Ms. Schneider, Ms. Mari McClaws, parent volunteers, Mr. and Mrs. Eddie Romano, Maria Romano. Thank you for being there. With that said, I'd like to call up Ms. Schneider.
Good evening. On July 23rd, the Vasquez cross country team went to Mammoth Mountain to participate in a high altitude team training camp. Over the course of a week, the team completed 2 trail runs each day, including a 10.5-mile trail over an 11-foot mountain pass to Duck Lake and Pika Lake. The athletes that completed this trail took the polar plunge into Pika Lake. It was about 45 degrees, which is a high Sierra Lake at an elevation of 10,000 feet. 10,500 feet above sea level. Very few people in the world will ever experience something like this. Some of the other trails we ran were Horseshoe Lake, Duck Pass Trail, Lake McLeod, Mammoth Lake, Mammoth Rock, Emerald Lake, and Convict Lake. In our free time between training, we swam and kayaked in June Lake and Lake McLeod, went fishing in Lake Mary, and swam in the pool and hot tub at the condo. Each night after dinner, we played a variety of team bonding games before lights were out at 10 sharp. Shortly before leaving Acton, we found out that Mr. Spielman was going to be in Mammoth. So upon our arrival in Horseshoe Lake, the team was greeted by the legendary Mr. Tie-Dye. Mr. Spielman accompanied us on several trails, hiking with the chaperones in the back of the pack. In addition to joining us for hikes, meals, and activities, we were invited to his campsite one night to cook hot dogs, burgers, and fresh fish that were caught in June Lake over a campfire. After dinner, we made s'mores and listened to Mr. Spielman play campfire songs. The camp allowed each athlete to have an unbelievable experience in nature, push their bodies and minds more than they thought they could, and bond together as a team in a sport that is very individual by nature. This trip would not have been possible without the support from AAD-USD, the Acton Women's Club, Bloom Ranch, Miracle Masters Glass, and various private community members that made extremely generous donations to sponsor both individual athletes and team expenses. Additionally, we had the support of 3 amazing chaperones who volunteered their time to come. Maria Romano was like our team mom, and she made sure everybody was taken care of and had order in the kitchen. Mr. Romano helped with everything in the house and the food and took the kids fishing. And that was really exciting. And Mari McLaws ran with us and did all of our evening entertainment. As the great John Muir said, of all the paths you take in life, make sure if you are dirt.
And part of the presentation, Mr. Fosgraf, and trustees and community and students and parents, a student produced a short video about their experiences at Mammoth. Alex.
Board.
All right, cross-country team. Looks like you guys had a lot of fun and glad you're able to go out and participate.
What a great experience. And I tell you what, for the cross-country team, I envy your passion for running because I hated running in the Army. And on the police department, I hate running after people as well. So I wish I had that passion for running like you guys do. So my hat's off to you.
I hate running too. If you ever see me running, you better run too, because that means there's something chasing me. I don't know if you guys quite grasp how incredible it is that you guys get to do that trip with your team and your coaches. Nobody gets to do that. You guys are so lucky. I want to go. That looks like so much fun. Yeah, I'm not. I'll sit and wait at the campsite. You guys are just going to have an incredible season. And I think doing things like that and just that team bonding, so cool. When I was in high school, I got to go to cheer camp, and I know the cheerleaders just went to cheer camp. Incredible bonding experience, right? Like, you guys are so lucky that you get to do the things that you do. And I hope you just have those core memories saved forever. And I'm just extremely jealous. And I wish you the best of luck in your season. I know you guys are going to do awesome.
Yeah, it's a tremendous amount of dedication to go and do that, but it looks like you had a lot of fun. But thank you to all the coaches and people that participated in getting them there.
All right, I love running. I love running for school board because I always win. Is that Hillary Blaha? Clap for her. There we go. Do you know what she does for you guys? Yeah, it's easier to figure out what she doesn't do for you guys, okay? Go ahead, play the game. Throw it. Here you go. Go long. Touchdown, Green Bay. Oh, and they're looking for you over there. In all seriousness, adults, thank you for everything you do to model the behaviors that this district wants out of our kids. That's the most important thing. If you win, that's great. If you don't, grow up to be adults, become taxpayers, and make this world proud of Acton, California. Thank you. So is this the time that they can? I'm not encouraging you to leave, but if you stay, I'm going to encourage you to get a life. Or one of you can come up here and sit here in my place. But do you have anything else that would interest these people?
I mean, I would hope so, but I could continue with my report. So moving forward, effective instruction and leadership. We held our new staff orientation just in this room yesterday. So it was a few days ago now. Introductions were made from district personnel, my team, with new staff, professionals, and teachers. The energy in the room was fantastic. Our IT team of Alex and Caesar, they met their technology needs. Yes, applause, applause. They also had our new staff had a bus tour to the 3 sites in the community that they are serving. And we're thrilled to welcome each and every one of our amazing professionals and educators to the team. Summer PDs moving forward. It's been an action-packed summer, as it always is. Honing their craft over summer, our teachers and administrators attended multiple professional development opportunities such as CSLA, which guides educators in identifying problems of practice, as well as an AVID Summer Institute, where AVID site teams were able to dive deeper in instructional strategies and planning for the new school year. Some pictures from their PD is up on the screen. And then concluding, August 8th and 9th, we kicked off today our district-wide professional development at Vasquez High School with all 3 sites. Some of the topics that were covered was iReady, assessments, new math adoption workshops, AVID, CPR, and others. Thank you to the PD Council for your effort in ensuring our teachers receive what they need. One of the PD Council members are here. Ms. Alexa Lepp, you get the spotlight again. And thank you, Dr. Chamberlain, yes, for your leadership in that. Day 2 is set for tomorrow, August 9th. And last but not least, we're looking forward to seeing everyone at our annual Welcome Back Breakfast, our staff and our board members, Tuesday, August 13th, where we formally introduce new staff, as well as take the opportunity to introduce my team. And I will share all the behind the scenes effort. I know my report wasn't that exciting. I apologize. All the efforts we took place over summer, we're going to share that out and share our vision and mission for our new school year, and concluding with team building activities. And that concludes the report.
So let's
Thank you.
loop back around to item A, add a representative. My prayers have been answered.
Hi, everyone. I'm
Not
Alexa
really.
Ledge. I'm on the A to E board. We had a great day of professional development today, so thank you. I know I had some PDs led by my fellow teachers, and it's going to be a really good year. I know teachers are just really excited to get in there, be with you guys again in the classroom, connect with our community, and Ada's excited to get this going. It's going to be a good year. So short, sweet, and we're excited.
Are you coming back next time? CSEA representative. Nothing, thank you. We are going to populate the student representative to the board at some point in the future. All right. This one is very exciting. And if you're involved in sports or money or anything like that, I'll open this by saying I am not a proponent of people bringing unfunded mandates to the district. I'm not Santa Claus. I can't give you the Barbie bike if I don't have the money. Okay, understand that. Please introduce us, superintendent.
Sure. Something that was newly introduced to our district. There will be three subcommittees. We're going to go ahead and initiate and commence with the first subcommittee called Facilities and Finance Subcommittee. The staff, myself, is preparing to launch this meeting as far as preparing basic documents, information for discussion at the subcommittee meeting. Subcommittee meetings are public meetings. Agenda is posted just like we post our school board meetings 72 hours in advance. There are topics of discussion. There's a component of public comment as well. For example, we have, in terms of the liftoff, we have a document that I believe, Alex, you have to share. That's called Capital Facilities Project, where our business services assistant superintendent, Mr. Nguyen, he's actually put together this fantastic report. And this is just a synopsis. I'll pause while everybody takes their seat or exits, whichever. Our cheer team is interested in finance and facilities.
Noted.
Thank you, cheer team. We
That's
appreciate you.
That's noted.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Celeste. I saw that. I observed that. I recognize it.
This will not go unnoticed.
So if we could go to the next slide of the capital facilities. So we do understand, we do appreciate district needs, community needs, and meeting challenging needs that are coming up when it comes to facilities, maintenance, and so forth, so on. Here's one sample to kind of create the launch of discussion points for the Facilities and Finance Subcommittee of estimated cost capital facilities for our three sites: information technology, transportation, maintenance, and what the total cost would be if we could actually take care of each and every one of these items. Next slide. If you could see this, is broken down by school site, name of the projects, what the potential cost could be, and they're not really kind of averaged out, but these are very specific costs, and then estimated completion dates. So you see things that are, next year, 6 months, 2, 3, 4 years out, and then where would the funding source come? And if you see some blanks, that's the question. Where would the funding sources come? We do hear the needs and we do see the challenges and we do see the strengths, and we're trying to put that all together and have a platform, a vehicle of discussion in a formal setting of a facilities and finance subcommittee. So two other future subcommittees that are being planned by our trustees are education. And one is education and the other is policies and administration. So there'll be three, including the finance and facilities subcommittee. So our first meeting is being planned, and our liaisons from the board will be facilitating the meetings itself. And if our liaisons, Mr. Mascon, as well as Mr. Mays, have anything to say, I'll turn it over to Mr. Falsgraf to facilitate that?
So very quickly, in the governmental agency I work for that has a renowned world reputation, we have subcommittees. And those subcommittees take care of business to where people come in, they talk about things. Finance is very transparent, everything is transparent. And there are 2 board members or 2 city council members in that case, and they are joined by several different resident teams in the city, like team finish the sentence. We had that program here called Team or Know Your District. There were people in some of the parent group meetings that were coming forward and saying, okay, I heard this, I heard that. And so the PTSO president at the time brought people in and said, here they are, tell us about you, tell us about who you run, who's on your team, what your budget is. And at the very end of it, I was very happy because we brought someone in that went to Vasquez when it was a collection of portable buildings, and then went to do a college career in baseball, and then came back to our community as a health professional. So the more we know about things, the more we can prioritize things. It has been my honor. I tried to get this through the board a couple of years ago. I don't think everybody got it, but it is my honor right now to serve with a very highly functional board. I want to call attention to Miss Congeniality. She is the voice that in the community, when you're dealing with people at fundraisers and stuff, if she comes back and says she's happy, I'm happy. If she comes back and says someone was rude, I'm not happy. Daddy's not happy. Moving down the row, we have Mr. Mays, who is a construction professional. He's used to green buildings and highly compliant buildings and things, and he runs jobs and makes sure that they're that they come in. He works in the private industry. Lester does a similar thing and has an expertise in business. They both know what it means to have money, not have money, and understand what it takes to push things through when it comes time to make the work happen. Of course, George, consummate professional, lawyer, police officer, he's everything I can never be. At the end of the day, our liaison that I'm happy to introduce to you for this subcommittee are Lester and Bill. They will conduct their meetings without the influence of me or anyone else. When you have 2 people in a meeting, you can't have a third one, or it creates, and this is going to be open, highly effective. Where's Kai? Dude, I'm so impressed. I am so impressed. This list came together so quickly. It's it's basically a needs analysis. None of our buildings are in really bad shape because we get the Williams Casey report quarterly, but I couldn't be happier with the board I have now. It's highly functional. I have people representing all different kinds of personal career paths that are significant to this board. We are here to support the superintendent and the staff. That's what we're here for. We're not here for us. We're here to cheer for Hillary Blaha, though, one more time. Gentlemen, please tell everybody what it is you want to do and get them off the ground here. Thank you.
Yeah, I think our first goal is to actually kind of understand more about, you know, what the current plans are, maintenance budgets, current conditions, those sort of things. Then with any luck, we can do some needs assessments in detail, like Kai has already started for us. And then understand what money we have available, what budgeting we have available, and what some long-term planning can look like. And then hopefully the community will chime in as well and express some of their wants and needs and desires. And then we can figure out what the most important thing is for us to do next.
Wait. Well, tell them what you do for a day job, why someone gives you money. Would you please do that?
I run businesses. So from startup to more mature organizations. I've been part of launching several European businesses that have come over to the US completely from scratch. So it takes a lot of discipline when it comes to your finances.
All right. As he said, we're here to try and make things better and to try and help facilitate getting projects done. But we do need input from the teacher, staff, administrators, so that we know what they need and we can try to put that on the table. That's the biggest thing right now.
Bill, tell us what your work week looked like this week, please.
All right, so I'm a director of construction and I build large buildings. Apartment buildings right now. I did build pharmaceutical plants. I've built high-rise buildings. So basically I oversee and run. My daughter's interrupting me. I oversee and I run, like I said, multiple projects, so. So I'm happy to help try and facilitate all this stuff. Thank you.
Just as a disclaimer, I bought a piece of land. I could see the ocean. Bill built a giant building in front of it. Now I've completely lost my property value, but we're still friends. Hillary Blaha is going to help me find a new house. That's 3. Okay, guys, thank you very much. While we're in a clapping mood tonight, give these guys a hand. They do all this for free. Thank you. You will have them reporting. This is a standing agenda item. So it won't be an action item. Whenever they have meetings, they'll update the whole board on what happened at their meeting. Does anyone want to make comments? Is that what I heard? Good. No. All right. I think that ends that. Submissions. Do we have any charter submissions this evening?
Not this evening, Mr. Fallsgraf. Our first submission will be from Assurance Charter kicking off on August 22nd board meeting. Thank you.
I can't wait. Consent agenda. Can we, let me see what I want to do here. There's a lot of things on the consent agenda. I'll move in discussion of the consent agenda, please.
I'll second.
Before we take any action, is there anything that a board member wants to pull off the consent agenda for discussion? Hearing nothing, I'll read them into the record. Approval of consent agenda items 8B through 8K. That's the minutes of the special board meeting of June 27th, 2024. The warrant register, which is all of the district's purchases. The annual purchase order list, the agreement with Lafetra College of Education fieldwork assignment, F memorandum of understanding vision to learn, G 202425 DTS translations, visual interpretation and transcript evaluation fee schedule, H 202425 designation of CIF representative to the league. I hop, skip, drive. I wanted my name to be that. Incorporated renewal services agreement 202425. Hannah interpreting service LLC service agreement. K master contract to help group Summit View BLC. I believe that's it. Call to question.
Maysai.
Jesus, I.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Mascot.
Fallsgraf, aye. 9 personnel action report. I'll move that.
Second.
I just want to quickly make a comment regarding the PAR and opening of schools. With the teacher shortage still in effect, we are close to 100% fully staffed at all 3 sites. Something to celebrate. I don't want to put our new director of people culture / HR on the spot, Ms. Erdrich. Is there anything that you want to share? Because this is something to celebrate. A lot of effort and hard work.
Do we have any comments? Okay, I have a comment. We're watching our reserve level plunge. So when we saw up there that list of $17 million worth of projects and the little joke I made about Santa Claus, yeah, there's a lot of pray to Santa Claus projects up there. And sometimes you will have, as a financial strategy, you will have people delaying and putting freezes and dragging, they call it dragging your feet on certain positions, because if you don't have to make payroll this week, it dumps to your bottom line and it looks like you have more of a reserve than you do. Now, one position that doesn't produce a significant savings on the financial end of it where Kai's at. But when it comes to kids being in a classroom that don't have somebody knowing what they're doing, then that's a problem for me. So my question is, superintendent, you can subcontract the answer out however you want. Is there any directive being given to freeze any positions and drag feet on hiring anyone on that list?
No.
Wonderful. I would like to thank Mr. Mascon. He was actually instrumental in suggesting that we take a look at how HR runs in terms of it being the bad guy that I've always had to deal with in my career, and turn it into a more people-friendly thing that's out there getting recruiting and stuff like that done. And it shows. Thank you for joining our district. Call to question.
Mays, aye.
Jesus, I.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Mask on it.
Fallsgraf, I. B, provision, I'll move in provisional internship permit. Second,
I'll second.
there we go.
So provisional internship permit, PIP for short. LACO provides this provision to those working on a teaching credential to be hired by a district who are working towards completing their credential and working on some units to be hired provisionally. Anything, Ms. Erdrich, that you'd like to share?
Okay,
Thank you.
call the question.
Mays, aye.
Jesus, I.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Mask on it.
Fallsgraf, I. I'll move in C, memorandum of understanding, MOU AAD USD and California School Employees Association, Chapter 473 CSEA.
Second.
It's our recommendation to enter into agreement with CSEA, Chapter 437, this MOU, which will retroactively credit our classified employees with sick leave, those who worked extra hour duty during summer school or ESY extended school year for the 22-23 school year. Also, the agreement outlines retroactively compensating classified employees who worked extra hours for summer school as well as ESY with vacation leave hours again for 22 and 23 school year. Thank you.
Discussion. Call the question.
Mays, aye.
Jesus, I.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Mask on it.
Fallsgraf, I. I'll move in D, successor and initial proposal 2024 to 2027, California School Employees Association, Chapter 473 to Acton Agua Dulce Unified School District.
I'll second.
Thank you. Our district's CSEA Chapter 473, once again, has Sunshine, the school district for the 24-25 fiscal year. With their openers, there are 8 openers in their sunshining articles that include anywhere from duty hours all the way through employee discipline and compensation and others.
Do we have discussion?
No.
Call the question.
Mays, aye.
Jesus, I.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Mask on it.
Fallsgraf, I. Let's move on to 10, Education and Pupil Services. I will move in strategic arts plan progress and make recommendations for 2024, 2025. Was it really important? Yeah, but. Okay, here we go. I guess that is important. I'll move in successor initial proposal 2024-27 to or 2024 to 2027 Acton Agua Dulce Unified School District Proposal California School Employees Association Chapter 473.
I'll second.
Thank you. District respectfully sunshines our CSEA Chapter 473 with 2 opening articles, salary, as well as employee benefits.
Discussion. Call the question.
Mays, aye.
Susie.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Mascot.
Paul's Graph, aye. Now we'll go to education and pupil service. I was so excited about the arts. That's what happened. I will move in strategic arts plan progress and recommendations for 2024, 2025.
Second.
There we go.
As we move forward with our arts initiatives through the strategic plan for 24-25, Dr. Chamberlain is going to be presenting the arts offerings and expansion and opportunities for our students.
Thank you, board members and superintendent. Tonight, I'm here just to present our strategic arts plans progress and our recommendations for the 24-25 school year. The purpose is to update the board and the community on the strategic arts plan. And just a quick review for 21-22. That was when the strategic arts plan was created and board approved. And 22-23 was our 1 year, our first year implementation. The following year, in 23-24, last year, our focus was on staffing, professional development, and community outreach. This year, we plan to focus on implementing our arts of education curriculum and growing our music and art program. So a year in review for the year 22 and 2022, 2023 is we purchased equipment for all 3 sites. We were awarded the advancement grant. The VAPA went on field trips at all 3 sites. So that's our visual arts and performing arts programs. We identified a district arts TOSA, who you met earlier this evening, Kate O'Mara. And we started our intro to VAPA class that was created, and then our High Desert Art Day in collaboration with VHS students and staff. In our year 2 progress, we had Kate start, so we had her on board for the whole full year. We hired an art teacher this year at Meadowlark and High Desert. She will begin the 24-25 school year. She is in an internship program, and she actually subbed for us all year long. She is doing her credential program in a single subject arts program so that she can teach specifically arts to our students and move from class to class. We were again approved for an advancement grant of $22,000. It's a matching grant, so it'll be $44,000 expenditure. And it was to purchase instruments for teacher training. With this year, with the vision as it relates to the instrument is of a drumline at High Desert and then feeding into Vasquez High School. So just to continue our second year implementation progress. Again, we did our second year of the Arts Day VHS collaboration in High Desert. If you get a chance to come to that, it's really a fantastic event. So I know people are busy, but I'm sure we'll do it again this year, and it's fantastic. We had field trips to the Lancaster Performing Arts, and our yearbook also took a field trip, and it was really interesting, the things that they shared and learned to do as it related to creating a yearbook. VHS had a guitarist and a painting teacher visit, and Meadowlark had a musician and a magician who came, and that's a tongue tire. Let's see. So this is our last slide as it relates. We did a lot of really cool things this year. We had Mission Opera at Meadowlark and at High Desert School. We created a new CTE, Career Technical Education Pathway at Vasquez High School. You'll be hearing more about that in an upcoming board meeting in depth. And we reorganized an existing CTE pathway. There was a lot of community outreach expansion this year with ASMO collaboration and the new community and professional outreach by Kate, who is here with us this evening. And so yep, that's the next one. So just a little bit more on the CTE. We currently had with the culinary arts program, and then we've expanded our digital and media arts program, as well as our performing arts and production and managerial arts. And the classes listed are there. So, and that's specifically related to the arts. We offer more CTE, which you'll be hearing more about from our counselors. And just a few pictures. So this is from the this was culinary arts at the High Desert School art collaboration. some of our students from our culinary program, and then some of the students from High Desert. And then this was pictures from Vasquez days, guitar days at Vasquez High School. And you'll see our students and our guitar teacher. And so that was a lot of fun. I heard a lot of really great things. And we might have, I think we had our VAPA, again, our Visual and Performing Arts Club at our fall festival. This was their haunted house. That is always a lot of fun and a very popular attraction. And then for this year, plans we have for our 24-25 school year is to create an implementation plan for our makerspace and create an implementation plan for our arts of education curriculum, and also create a standards-based learning map for each grade level, cluster to focus on art, and create a district learning map for pre-K through 12 and explore options for designated space. And our 5-year strategic arts plan and vision is areas that we're working on are designating continuous funding for expanding staff of art teachers, hiring additional visual and performing arts staff, hiring a part-time rotating instrumentalist aide, installing storage for instrument supplies and sheet music, and then sustaining an equitable access to music instruction for our TK through 12 students. I think that's the last one. So are there any questions?
George, got anything? No.
I don't have questions, but just two things. First, the drumline plan is fantastic. I know that we got a taste of a drumline at one football game. Our cross-country team had buckets donated by Ace Hardware, and they came out and they did a drumline at a football game, and it was the coolest, and it brought so much enthusiasm and such a different vibe to a football game. And it was just that 2 hours that we got that. So implementing it at High Desert and Vasquez and going big with a real drumline, oh, that would be so cool. And then one thing that I love seeing about where we were and where we are and our 5-year plan is something that I've noticed in the district is when we have something great going on, and then that teacher who is passionate about that one thing leaves, that thing goes away. And it's so sad for our kids when they're in choir and they're very excited, and we have brought choir to High Desert and they're excited to go to Vasquez because they know they're going to have that choir teacher, and that choir teacher leaves and now there's no choir at Vasquez. That leaves little kids to go to different schools that have choir, and it's really sad when that happens. That's speaking from personal experience. Or when an art teacher leaves and now we have no art elective at High Desert, and it's so sad for our kids. What I love about seeing the plan is no matter which staff we have, the plan is there and the foundation is there, and somebody else experienced can come in and pick right back up, and our students don't suffer when people find other jobs or retire or anything like that, that we can just keep picking up and our kids don't lose out. And I think that is fantastic. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. We are working to create sustainability, so thank you.
I just think it's wonderful that we focus so much attention on it. I wonder how many kids would have had no idea they have a passion for something or aptitude, or it changes people's lives.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I remember when for the county, from the county. And of course, people that get the grant one year, they're going to get the grant the next year, and to try to work in a new school. And I remember there was a committee that was working on, some of those committee members are present, others were not. There was a local artist, Voice of Reason, things like that. And the funny part about it was the guy running this had just come out of a finance, being a finance director for a prison. It's not like I knew him or anything. Well, not at least that well, right? Right. I'm like, we've got a prison finance dude running a bunch of artists and, you know, people from the community. And all I saw was oh no, we're gonna have a bunch of after-school enrichment programs that exclude the historically marginalized people who don't have the money to go and all that kind of thing. So in terms of what this means, I'm not too fluffy. Don't send me cards because I don't read them. But here's what I measure. The VAPA class at Vasquez, I had to have somebody tell me, no, it was not a class in vaping. Once I got past that, I was okay. But I mean, anybody in the school, regardless of their ability, is able to participate. So Miss Owens, I would embarrass if you were here, but she's my daughter Tammy, she showed me something Tammy drew. And I said, no, her aide did it. You know that. And so what she did was she said, no, she covered up this part of the picture and had her draw it, and then covered up this part of the picture and drew it. And then once it was all done, she took it all away, and it was like, she did do it. So I had her sign it and I sold it. And so this is very meaningful to me. But in terms of, I still got it, huh, Celeste? I'm not as angry anymore. So, but in terms of, think about this. Do you know what it costs to put a kid on a bus? You know, these kids that need our help, right? How many of you know how good it is for a kid that's freaked out and has cognitive limitations and behavioral issues to put them on a bus to send them over there? You want to talk about a behavioral trigger, that's it, right? And so they spend half their day on the bus. They don't have the support of the community. There's new kids over there. They pick up behaviors that are maybe desired or not. They exhibit behaviors that the other people in the class. It's a highly restrictive environment. And the trip to send them over there costs this district somewhere between $60,000 and $65,000 a child. Who knows what yeah, we've got a SPED person in the room that can tell you what's going on over there. Raise your hand, please, in case someone wants to know regionally. But what I'm getting at, guys, is this isn't about crayons. This is about your building community with our most vulnerable kids who are usually marginalized. So that means very much to me. I am pleasantly surprised. I never imagined I thought this was going to be a pottery class and some karate, not that I have anything against those, but this has turned into something that's embedded in the district. Congratulations. And I want to pay attention to the community members that got this off the ground in the beginning. Do we need to loop back again? Good. Was this an action item? Good. I can read. B, I'm going to move in approval of a Salas Services grant agreement not to exceed $71,820. Thank you, Tuckers.
Thank you.
I'm looking for a second.
I'll second.
See, I turned the tables on you guys. You didn't even see it. Well, I'm me. You're you. Okay, so
Can I
please
take it
go
away?
ahead. Please, please.
We have an opportunity to transition from a current existing virtual learning platform to Accelis. And we have our fantastic Tosa. She's phenomenal. We all love Miss Lepp. She'll be presenting tonight Accelis and what it has to offer. It has broader curriculum for virtual learning, which also serves both gen ed and SPED students. But I'm not going to steal her thunder. Miss Lepp, you could take it away.
But if I miss something, please say it. Hi, guys. How are you? Good to see you all.
Wonderful.
Good. I'm really excited to be here. I'm also a little nervous, but it's because like this is so cool. We had an amazing opportunity last year, thanks to Dr. Chamberlain. She got us a grant so that we could pilot this program last year. Of course, normally I am a virtual teacher. I work at Vasquez and with high desert students, and we normally use Apex. Last year, we were able to pilot Accelis with a few students, about 10. And for my students who really struggled on Apex, we wanted to offer something else where hopefully they could succeed. And that was through Accelis. So I'm really passionate about this platform. I'm really excited to go over everything and to show you guys what it's about. Next slide, please. So something I'd love to do is come back regularly to see you all to kind of talk more about our virtual program. It's been growing a lot over the years, especially since COVID. So just so you understand, prior to COVID, the virtual program, before I was a teacher, was about 24 kids who were in Apex, 24 to 30. COVID happens. I didn't include those numbers because that's when everyone was virtual. And then post-distance learning in 21, 22, this was when I was the only Apex teacher. There were 158 students on Apex. And that is with the virtual program and the blended program. We do also have students on credit recovery included in those numbers. High Desert at the time had 10 students, and Nicole Chun and I did work with those students, and we had 21 at Meadowlark for a total of 189 students in 21, 22. 22, 23, the numbers, basically the total was 171, but still pretty consistent with a high number of students being in our virtual academy program where they're learning at home. And then last year, we decided we had trouble basically with our lower school platform from K to 5. We had trouble finding a platform. We used to have, thank you, Edmentum and Edgenuity. Thanks, Michelle. And we just found that it wasn't right for our K through 5 students. So last year we decided to just do Apex. And you can see that we used it with High Desert students and Vasquez students. So between those two sites, we had 161. Now, these kids that this is representing, these are students who came back to our district because we had an online program. These are students who go overseas and play sports. Like, I'm thinking of students right off the top of my head. These are students with severe health issues where if they didn't have this program within our district, they'd be going to an online charter school because it's something they needed. Many do our blended program because they do dance at Dancing in Acton, and they put so many hours because that's something they love doing. So they love the flexibility of our virtual program. So these numbers have really recaptured a lot of ADA for us because our students are coming back to be in our virtual and blended program. Next slide, please. So about Acellus, what makes Acellus different than Apex? Basically, as a teacher, I am like a tech nerd. I love technology. And so when I'm looking at something, I'm looking for learning experiences that really have grit, that get students thinking critically. And I noticed that Acellus is really intuitive for students. It has really real world lessons. I'm going to show you actually an example of what you can see on this next slide, just so you can kind of see what our students will experience. So can you go to the next slide? Oh, dang it. Sorry, having a grant information, then we're going to see the video. So we did get a grant. Dr. Chamberlain and I worked together to get a $71,000 grant, or basically $72,000 grant. The balance to be paid is, of course, matching. It is a matching grant. And so that's just information for you all. Next slide, please. Okay.
Introducing Acellus Gold Edition, the all-new Acellus Learning Accelerator, redefining e-learning by incentivizing knowledge and modeling a positive social environment. Acellus Gold Edition caters the learning environment to the age of the students with an elementary, middle school, and high school student experience. This allows Acellus to use different motivational strategies and rewards tailored specifically to each age level. Acellus Gold Edition awards students with gold as they progress through their courses, honing in on the idea that knowledge is power. More gold can be earned based on the difficulty of assignments and mastery shown. Gold that is earned can be tracked on the student's stat page with an interactive and visual depiction of the gold that they have earned by completing various educational tasks. Their gold is directly correlated to the academic knowledge that students are collecting every day, which starts as a meager beginning and soon can turn into a hoard of knowledge. Students can also track their course progress and time spent, with reminders to help them balance their time between each of their subject areas. Neglected courses will prompt the student's attention until adequate progress has been made. High school students focused on meeting graduation goals can set their own personalized course completion dates to help them visualize the work they have completed, how much work is left, and whether or not they are on track to complete it in time. Acellus Gold Edition incorporates a social element into the platform by encouraging students to interact with their classmates. The leaderboard uses friendly competition to let students compete to see who can earn the most knowledge, represented by gold each week. Older students can take their competitions to the next level by customizing their own competitions and inviting specific classmates to participate. Competitions can be set for various durations or even specific subjects, with different trophies for the winners. Students can post their achievements, such as high scores on their exams, completing daily goals, or winning competitions. Other classmates can leave comments for each other by choosing from preset messages specifically designed to model positive interactions. This cultivates a healthy social environment, while at the same time celebrating academic achievement and course progress. By watching their classmates succeed, students are encouraged to find their own success and are motivated to complete their work in order to post. In Acellus, students learn at their own pace and are given daily goals that help them keep their learning on track. Acellus Gold courses feature 3DI, a new method of instruction designed specifically for hard-to-grasp concepts. 3DI utilizes detailed 3D models to take students into the inner workings of essential concepts, zooming in to the molecular level when needed, or slowing down mechanical processes until they can be clearly conveyed and explained. Each concept is broken down and taught step by step. A student is then given an assessment and, based on their shown mastery, is moved forward in the course or provided with vectored instruction to fill in specific knowledge gaps. Acellus routinely monitors the success of each student by assessing factors such as each student's progress and concept mastery, fine-tuning the courses based on the results. Advanced students are provided with more rigor, while other students are given more assistance and provided greater focus on key concepts. For elementary students, their daily progress is visually tracked on screen, filling in until they meet their goal. When a student finishes their goal, they can personalize their achievement by choosing a sticker and publishing it to their friends. Once their goals are finished for the day, the activities are unlocked for that student. Students can enrich their education by selecting from various learning activities designed to help them develop their writing, math facts, spelling, and fine motor skills for elementary, or create circuits and robot programs for older students. Write a Book helps students create their own illustrated books. First, students choose a theme, then create a picture by selecting a background and adding characters and props. These can be fictional, using Tobler and other characters, or they can be nonfiction with a built-in research tool. As they flip between the options, they are assisted through the brainstorming phase, one of the most difficult steps for beginning writers. Once the picture is done, all that is left is writing the words to go with it. Students are given a dictionary to help them with words they don't know how to spell. They are then assisted through the process of correcting their writing before continuing. Students add pages following the same process until their book is done, which is published to their personal library for them to go back and read whenever they want. Exceptional books will be published by Acellus to the whole Acellus community. Students can practice their fine motor skills by choosing pictures to color or letters to trace. They can practice their math facts, write programs for robots using simple blocks to code or JavaScript functions, or they can design their own circuits. Acellus Gold is redefining e-learning by emphasizing the value of education in students' lives, because knowledge is power. Welcome to Acellus Gold.
Next, there we go. So as you saw, very interactive. There are tons of different subjects that this covers. I'm not sure if you've had experience with Apex before. Good program. But if you were to compare the two, this is literally top of the top. It is the best. I did have some students, I wanted to talk about them who used Acellus last year. One of them gave me permission to share her story. She was a senior who, with credits, was not going to graduate. She was really behind. She had a really hard time with Apex. And to get her to graduate, stay in our district, to walk across the stage, we were like, you know what, let's try Acellus and let's see if it works. she walked. She gave me the feedback and she's like, that is exactly what I needed. That's the interaction I needed. I understand it actually has AI built into it. So for past concepts that students understand, it reteaches material to them. So that it's like having a live tutor with them as they're going through material. So I will say it was highly motivational. And I also had a student in SPED who went through it, and compared to how he was doing on Apex for credit recovery to Acellus, no longer in credit recovery because of the interaction. So it does monitor goals. There is a parent interface. Apex would give a weekly email on Sundays. This program has an interface available to parents to view live, just like what their students sees, they see. Next slide, please. There are detailed score reports so students can understand their pacing, how many, they call it steps they complete. That's their goals to complete by the end of the week. Next step, or slide, please. Like I mentioned, the Guardian interface, there is a live student monitor. So at me as a teacher, I'm seeing it live what students are working on. Same for parents. Parents can see, oh, my kid's on there right now working on this, and this is what they got on it. Pretty cool. Next slide, please. And as we mentioned, this platform does cover a multitude of different students. So it goes into credit recovery. Special education is available for the courses. English language learners really benefit from this. And then advanced placement is also available in honors. I promise I'm not going to read all this, but it's just to give you a different idea. Like I mentioned before, we had to stop our K-5 program for virtual academy before because we just couldn't find something that was best for students. This would work. We could bring back to recapture ADA for our K-5 at Meadowlark. We already have a few families who've actually contacted, especially in 5th grade. I think, which was it 5th grade last year, they heard, you have Acellus? Wait, we're not going to our charter. We were going to go to Acellus. We're going to stay here. Was that 5th grade, right? Yeah. So we could recapture those students and have all these offerings. Next slide. Next is middle school. So different, there are STEAM electives that they can do online, and as well as the normal classes they take. Next slide. And basically just more classes available, foreign languages instead of just Spanish, French. We would expand it into German and American Sign Language. That's getting A through G approved soon. Next slide. And what we're also, Dr. Paula Chamberlain talked about CTE pathways earlier. This would expand the CTE pathways we could offer. They have things like accounting, HVAC, pathways, plumbing, just different types of careers that students may be interested in. That is offered as more CTE pathways for our school. Next, please. Can you skip this? Oh wait, demo lesson. I wanted that one.
Acellus
Sorry.
vectored instruction.
Yes, demo lesson.
So we're here in Boston, and we're actually following the Freedom Trail today, which is right in front of me. The famous story that goes with this building actually involves the Boston Tea Party. In this room, legend has it, George Washington interrogated 2 British soldiers. Really, we're standing in the room where it all began. The 1 if by land, 2 if by sea part actually refers to Old North Church here in Boston. Now that's pretty amazing. They come onto these ships, 3 ships total. Robert Newman and John Pulling basically held lanterns here, signaling to the men that they had to get ready. Both sides knew the importance of this property. This is the high ground. This is a musket that was found at Bunker Hill at the site. There are places where you can kind of feel things, and this is one of those places. You're going to have 5,000 people meet for a meeting. We're standing in front of John Adams' birthplace. Over 90,000 pounds of tea are dumped in the harbor. He then reads the Declaration of Independence to the crowd below. And so the guys that were working here, I wondered to myself, did they know that? Did they ever realize how big this was actually going to become? So here we are on the deck of the Eleanor, and we're ready to destroy some tea. Some people have called Boston the birthplace of the American Revolution. From Bunker Hill to Dorchester Heights to Paul Revere's home and to the Old North Church, Boston is full of American history adventure. So join me as we go through Boston to these American historical sites and really start capturing the emotion behind the American Revolution. Let's go.
So as you can see, their lessons are really engaging. That's to introduce the lesson to high schoolers on, that point in history. All the videos are like that. I just wanted you to see a demo of what it looked like to our students. If you could skip the next slide. Perfect. Okay, and this is the AI part, artificial intelligence that I was talking about. It's called vector instruction. For our students, especially, maybe a student is struggling and they're in Algebra 2 and they cannot get a concept, right. In Apex, every time they fail a quiz or need to retake something, I reset it for them. And I go in to reteach. Within Acellus, there's actually AI built into it. So it's seeing what does the student not understand? And it pauses like where they are if they're failing a lesson. It then reteaches old content. So it's like what we do in a classroom for students. It personalizes a reteach of any concept that they may not understand. And they have the ability to then assess their learning. Are they understanding it? And then retake the quiz. This is an actual, oh man, you can't see it. I'm so sorry. But basically, this is one of our students, exactly what happened. The first time she took it, she had a 40%, did not understand the lesson. So the vector instruction came in, the AI was reteaching her content. Second time she took it, it was 100%. So I'm sorry, it was 60% the first time and then 100%. So it was a 40% increase after just one instruction, but it keeps doing this if they truly don't understand so that they get it. They also cannot, I know ChatGPT is a big thing for students right now with online learning platforms. Sorry, kids, you won't be able to use ChatGPT or anything on this platform. They cannot copy and paste something outside and put it into this. It is all only original within Acellus. So that's also a really nice feature.
Teaching effective.
That writing tutor, I just want to save you time too. The writing tutor basically gives, when they're writing assignments, just like how a teacher uses a writing rubric to give feedback to better their writing, the writing tutor does that for them. So it says, hey, I noticed that you don't have a main idea here. This is how it gives them, it has built-in AI to better their writing. So draft after draft, they have improvements that until they match the rubric. So that's a really cool feature as well. Anyway, okay, Q&A. I'm sorry, I've done a lot of talking. Talk your ear off, but anyway.
We have a public comment on
Oh.
this item.
Oh.
Do we? Please step forward.
Oh, okay.
My name is Angie Martin, and when my younger son Logan was in 9th grade, when COVID hit, he was in a really bad accident, and so not only was it COVID, but he had no use of his dominant hand. So while going through COVID and having to reteach him how to tie his shoes and button his pants and eat and all that fun stuff, and he couldn't even hold a pencil. So we are trying to figure out how to do online learning. And this angel right here, I cannot, I'm going to try not to cry, but she was so instrumental and helping Logan during a very difficult time. Apex was for me very difficult because I was having to do the work. And it's like, if I would have had Acellus, I would have been really happy because I would have probably like faked it and like try to do it myself and learn something. But anyway, so I just wanted to say what a gem we have with Miss Alexa. And so I just wanted to personally and publicly say thank you for everything you did. And I will never forget you for it.
I guess it's group hug night. I never am invited. Neither are you. Do we have any questions or comments from the board?
Just a comment. It seems like it's a very good program. I know he never liked doing the online learning. What do you think? You think it's a lot better? Okay.
That's good.
Putting you on the spot.
Thanks for the presentation. I think it's a great platform, especially because it's so interactive. And I'm glad you mentioned Chat GBT because I was going to bring that up. I teach criminology at ABC. And a lot of times we have those students that are using the Chat GBT, you know, the pre-design, whatever response and then putting it into their assignment. So I'm glad that there is a protection with that and it's so interactive that we can kind of avoid that, that realm. Thank you.
So as some of you know, I work at Virtual Academy for a different school district. And I am very familiar with Apex and with Edmentum. My kids have done several courses with both of them and I found issues with both of them. And then we also use Apex and Edmentum in my workplace, and watching parents get frustrated and come in and not have a clue. So there's questions that I wrote down, notes that I wrote down. And as you were going through everything, you answered most of them. One of them was the course availability, which you had all those courses listed up there. So that's the choices are fantastic. And what I see, not just with the 170 kids that we have full virtual, but also helping the kids where they can go part-time and take most of their classes on campus. And then if they want to take ASL, which that was a thing for me and my kids, I ended up driving them out to COC from Quartzville to COC, and they got their 2 semesters of ASL in, but it cost me a lot in gas and time. So that is super cool. The parent tracking, where the other platforms don't have the parent interface, where I would have to log into my kids and see where they were by taking their passwords and logging in as I'm them, so I could see what they were doing. To have the parent interface where they can log in as well, that's incredible. That would have been a huge help for me. So I know that parents will definitely appreciate that. And I'm not so sure that kids all the time will, but I know it will be helpful. The one thing is parents don't always, even though they have these tools available to them, they don't know how to use it. So the one suggestion that I would have is to do like a parent university or some kind of a parent training and pull that up and click here and click here. And this is how you see this. And this is where you can track your kids there ahead of time, and not wait for them to be like, my kid's failing, what do I do? Ahead of time, so they can stay on top of it from the get-go, I think would be fantastic. But that looks
Pretty cool.
super cool. So thank you for your excitement too, because I think your excitement
I
says
really am.
everything. If you're the one doing it and working with it and you're this excited, your kids are going to be this excited as well. So fantastic.
I'm happy to see us kind of moving with technology. Education is certainly not one size fits all, and for us to have the ability to meet kids where they're at, I think is truly important. I happen to have a kid that is going to be a junior this year, and he hasn't had a free summer yet, so he's participated in the Apex stuff. So I think this will definitely work with him. I think what's important to note too, if they participate in this program, that also allows them to participate in our school sports as well.
Yeah.
So they
Really
can,
cool. Dances, sports.
right, so you have plenty of people that live in this community that, you know, their parents are working on location. They wanted the flexibility to take their families with them when they go do it. So they're kind of in and out of the area, being able to take advantage of a program like this, or they're tremendous athletes that are traveling around the world and the country trying to participate in those things. So being able to have an option for them, and then let them take advantage of some of the other great things here, I think is fantastic. Thank you.
Alex is psychic.
How do you know?
This is where I come in at. These kids that are using the program, they weren't always here
Exactly.
and they went away. And how much is ADA a year for kids? When I started on the board, it was $8,700. So each kid in the district, if you are in your chair every day, there's a difference between your enrollment and the number of kids that are in your chair. So get in the chair. Okay. think about $8,700 and you have to do everything for the kid. Right? And then the kids that get on the bus to go over there is 65,000. 65,000 divided by, now it's 13.2, I think. They raise it to 13.2. So if I put a kid on a bus, that's 4.5 kids that lose their funding so someone can ride a bus and not go to VAPA class here. But the important thing here is how much, show me the slide about what the district had into this for a cost.
Yeah.
So the grant, tell me about that.
So it is a 5-year grant, and it's a matching grant. They do pay for the registration. The grant does cover our staff members to be trained in Acellus, as well as the registration for them attending the training in Kansas City. But basically, all of that covers 160 high school students, 15 high desert students, and 5 Meadowlark students. We can, if there's more students needed, like say at Meadowlark, we can expand that number. Anything else? But yes, it is a matching grant.
Okay, so the total program cost is 143.
Yes.
Okay, besides auxiliary costs like teacher support and all that kind of thing. So there's 180 kids in this that would be going to school somewhere else. Do you know how much that is in funding? It's $2,214,000. And remember how I used to complain about how we used to steal charter money at some kid in San Bernardino? And how that used to freak me out. And then people went to jail for stealing $80 million and I was the students. It was full of them tonight, guys. That's part of it. This is part of it. So I want you to take a $71,820 investment and show me anywhere where you can turn that into $2 million. That's the significance of this district. I always wanted to be financially independent where we didn't have to make excuses, where you're looking at things and you get this grant money and and it looks good for a couple of years and then all of a sudden the money goes away and you're back to ADA and then you don't have the money. And so all these fancy programs that you built out that make people want to come here, suddenly they go away and everybody's playing the seniority fight game to see who's left to teach math and reading. And that is the plight of small districts. So I commend you all on number one, picking up a pencil and writing a grant, number one. That is the most unpleasant thing. That's like meeting all of my mother-in-laws in the same room. It's worse than that. So I can't commend you enough. You put $2 million back into the budget. Thank you very much. Besides whatever this does, everybody else seems really impressed with it. That's enough for me. But you gave us $2 million back along with his $4.some million of the grant since he's been here. That's $6 million. The charter revenue used to be $4 million a year. So now I don't have to go to jail. Nobody's under federal indictment. There was a time, believe this or not, when the superintendent and the director of finance were under federal gag order not to tell the board what was going on when there was a grand jury investigation. How pleasant was that? So those days are over. 4 million of that gone. I don't need it. And I got 6 million. It doesn't get any better than this one, you can. It really doesn't. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Anybody else got? Good.
I would just be wonderful if we saw how we were going to just tell the entire community and everybody in our addressable market about this, that this was available.
Love it. I'm already working on flyers and a plan for that, so I love it.
Which causes me to think about this. I'm going to go way out on a limb, so I don't want anybody to be offended if you haven't been offended by everything I've said tonight. there is no replacement for being in a classroom and being with people around you. You learn social behaviors. Obviously, I didn't sit in the classroom very much. So at the end of the day, you growing up around your friends, they tell you, don't say that, Ken, or don't do that. So you learn socialization, and those skills, especially your ability to respect older people that are going to have to hire you. So you have to fool them into hiring you somehow. All those skills are learned in a classroom with adults mentoring you. I support this, but this is not a replacement for being in a classroom with a teacher. I need everybody to understand that.
Yeah.
But, so you're the teacher of 180 kids.
I now split it with Mr. Gaforian and Miss Nicole.
Okay, so you only have 90 kids. Okay, that's great.
And Miss Chun's gonna help me K through 6.
Good. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to add? Any staff members, anyone want to talk about this before we vote?
No, we're fine. Thank you, Mr. Fosdick.
Hey, Dr. Sahakian gave us $20 each, but we still like you.
He actually gave us.
While we're at it, Alex, you're the best. You are the best, man. Okay.
So we have a contract and it does go through approval process. Basically, if they're attending in person and they're failing their classes, they do not qualify for office. We do have to have to do better in their current classes, but they're in person, to be able to qualify and sign off on it. We also have second, so if the all students are behind, like say they're a student who, it's first quarter semester and they're failing the classes, they no longer can send online, they do not do that. So it's up to that, and they also still have to do it like advisory online.
Sounds like good content for the marketing FAQ.
Wait a minute, I have another question. Kai. There he is. Listen, is there a penalty for kids that take this type of learning versus people being in their seat? Does the state take away ADA?
Oh, I'm sorry, no, you're right. Yeah, right. It's just different code.
Whether they're virtual or in person,
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Nothing else? Call to question?
Mays, aye.
Jesus, I.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Mascot eye.
Falls Graph, aye. I enjoy discussions like this, especially when there's something positive to talk about. Great. C, I'll move in advancement grant award 2024-25, $22,000.
I'll second.
Thank you. Based on the arts plan that was presented this evening, for the 24-25 year, we recommend approval for the grant of $22,000 for this fiscal year.
Questions, comments? Call to question?
Mays, aye.
Jesus, I.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Mascot eye.
Falls Graph, aye. Going into 11, business services, I have asked for items A, which is the adoption of resolution 2024-2501 to initiate the CVRA process to transition to trustee area elections in 2026. I've asked that to be pulled along with the next item, which is a proposal for a demographer. I want all those items bundled up so the public understands exactly what's going to happen with the election process in the city, where the mandate is coming from, and how we're being forced to to go ahead and do that. So I asked for those to be pulled and agendized for the next meeting. You will have an attorney here to answer any questions about all of it, none of it. The board may be affected, your board may be affected by zoning. We're not going to participate in this. You got to be crazy to sit up here, much less try to protect your spot for 10 years. Sorry if you don't feel that way. Sorry. So let's move on to C. I'll move in purchase of interactive panels for classroom use.
I'll second.
Thank you. The district is continuing with the rollout of BenQ interactive panels to enhance teaching and learning in our classrooms. Last year they were piloted at our sites. The funding comes out of an emergency block grant geared to learning recovery initiatives to support academic learning. Mr. Kai, if you have any comments to share?
This will replace projectors in my classroom with a lot of overhead, a lot of expense, and Alex and Steve have to go out there every three months to clean the filter, just the fall, sometimes they run out. So this is very more efficient for the district. So in our panels will last us 8 to 10 years, but the projector will last 4 years, 5 years. So this is more complicated.
Discussion?
So we're talking something like this, but it's a wall panel or what are we? Okay.
And interactive.
Okay.
And come up and interact. This application on the Zoom where doing some right on the internet TV, just protect it, and I can chime in as well.
What size is this? Okay.
Anything else?
What school will these be going in, or is it a couple teachers, or is it all the teachers getting them? How will they be dispersed?
We did deploy some panels last year, so one on one side, another one is gonna be on and we're interactive now.
Questions?
How do you decide who's gonna get what? How will they be dispersed?
First, the decision was made, during the pilot program, that the panels were gonna be installed in the classroom that they have older technology, older detectors that we need to put. Right now, we're gonna try to do the same thing, we're gonna make more installation on the age of the projector, the current projector on the class.
And is the goal to get more to finish off campuses next year, in 5 years? When will the whole campus be done?
We're looking at, based on, teachers that want to have the interactive TVs in the classroom, we will roll them out, hopefully we get them all done within a year, or 2 at the most. And again, we're using one-time funds for it.
Thank you.
Good with you? Was this in the facilities plan?
No.
Because you plan on getting it done, right? Perfect, thank you. Call to question?
Maysai.
D'Souza.
Brianna Taxoni, aye.
Mascot eye.
Falls Graph, aye. D, I'll move in consulting services agreement Center for Safe and Resilient Schools and Workplaces,
Second.
not to exceed $55,000.
Yes, so there are both, there are
55,200, excuse me.
Yes, that amount. There are 2 contracts as attachments. These 2 contracts, if approved, are funded out of the mental health demonstration grant. from the U.S. Department of Ed. Our social workers received training. They received training last year, so this is a repeat contract that's embedded in the grant funds. Our social workers receive cognitive behavioral intervention training modules, and this will be year 2 if approved. Thank you.
Questions, comments? Hearing none, call to question.
Mays, I.
Jesus, I.
Brianna Texoni, I.
Mascot, aye.
Falls Graph, aye. I'll move an agreement consulting services Lisa Patterson not to exceed $30,000.
I'll second.
Thank you. We recommend approval of Ms.
I got you.
Patterson's contract. As we've always maintained a consultant, which is required for transportation. We need to have a consultant for transportation who is a certified trainer, and they help support our bus drivers.
Discussion. Hearing none, call to question.
Mays, I.
Jesus, I.
Brianna Texoni, I.
Mascot, aye.
Falls Graph, aye. I'll move in F, proposal Sherry Shannon Educational Consulting not to exceed $25,000.
I'll second.
Oh, we're really picking it up now. Anyway.
So we recommend
Waited
approval.
8 years.
It's hard to follow this act, but I'm just gonna give it a try.
It's not an
Wait.
act. Why can't I get this mental health support that we're signing contract for, right? Go ahead.
We recommend approval of Ms. Shannon's contract as she is an additional piece in the oversight component for the submissions that are up and coming for the charter schools. What she typically does is she'll review the non-fiscal components of the submissions for our charter schools.
Questions or comments? Oh, boy, do I have some. So let me paint this picture for you. I'm a charter school director, right? Love you guys, love you employees, I really do, just in a regular way. So I'm a charter director, right? What does my job depend on? That I have charters, right? So I'm going to review the charters and recommend that you don't renew them so I don't have a job, right? That's kind of counterintuitive, correct? Even in Oklahoma. So at the end of the day, Celeste's not laughing. She's heard these jokes for 8 years in a row. But charter attorney, what is the charter attorney's job? Yeah, charters. Okay. So when it comes time, and you remember the old days when the charter people used to come in here and it was a party, and they all realize I'm not anti-charter. The LA Times told you that about me. But I am anti come in here and steal money from kids and then go to federal prison. I am kind of against that in a little bit, at least. So when it comes time to renew these charters, people are going to come in here. Sherry Shannon is somebody that knows charters. You can Google or do whatever you want. But what I asked the superintendent to check on, and I believe that group of people over there, at least some of them, and maybe even Kai or whoever, assured me that Sherry Shannon has no contract with any charter anywhere where she is to look at this and tell us whether or not we should renew these charters, and if not, why, and if there's a reason why, what we can do to provide them I'm not interested in spending, you've always heard me talk about in the budget how much charter revenue we have, and that's zero. But because we have charters, there's some exposures out there and we have to oversee them. LACO, LA County has a whole 4th floor of people that oversee charters. We have one person. If you drop the ball in the oversight and somebody makes some bonehead move in the charter, especially in SPED, this district can watch its budget just boom, overnight, a couple $1 million lawsuits and your reserve is nothing. So I want everybody to know, Sherry, sorry, I had to do it. It makes you credible. Shay does a wonderful job. She oversees and does a lot of work. The finance people go over the numbers. And so I want a fair and equitable process, but that's who Sherry Shannon is. And that's why I asked the superintendent to look at where her conflicts of interest, if any, lie. Anybody else, now that I've said that? Okay, call the question.
Mays, aye.
Jesus, I.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Mascot.
Ballsgraph, aye. I'll move in Sunny Days rate schedule.
I'll second.
Can you kind of tell us in what this means in terms of their rate schedule, if it's changed or anything like that? Has anyone, while he's looking, has anyone ever heard complaints about Sunny Days, even one? And they've been with us for what? 6 years, 7 years? I've never approved a rate increase for them in all that time. I don't know that their costs could be stable 6 or 8 years later.
Well, this is an informational item only, but attaches a rate sheet. So it does provide the 24-25 annual registration fee for the entire school year. It breaks it down by the number of days. So if we could just, it's hard to explain if you don't see it visually.
This is not a cost to the district.
Correct.
This is a cost to the parent, which is kind of, I want to make sure that if somebody's out there that gets priced out of the market through the service, I want to know that.
So it's broken down, it's staggered. You know, if you have a child who's, if you're a parent guardian and you want your child there for a couple of hours, so they have it by an hourly rate. They also have it if you want to pay, you know, monthly. And then you go into full daycare, 4 to 5 days, 3 days, 2 days, and there's a sliding scale there, just depending on the number of days you want full daycare as well. So, and they also have a late fee clause at the bottom of this rate sheet.
So my eyes are bad. Does anybody, does this seem exorbitant to anyone? Have you ever heard that?
No, not from any parents.
Okay, sorry, I just wanted to get that out there. Other board discussion?
I think we're fortunate to have such a program here.
I would agree. So there's nothing to vote on. It's just an informational item that the
That's correct.
rates hit the screen. I'm happy. I will move in number 12, board policy BP 1240 and administrative regulation AR 1240 volunteer assistance. I think it would be good if we expanded on this a little bit. I need a second, please. Thank you.
This item is a first read, introduces a BP and AR, Board Policy Administrative Regs of volunteer assistance. Many districts do have this board policy as well as AR, including LACO. We did take the language from LACO and other districts. Districts typically take the language for BPs and ARs from CSBA, and we've attached it here for public viewing. It generally covers, and this policy and AR covers, duties of a volunteer, qualifications, as well as background checks, among other items.
So we'll flash both of them on the screen. Would I be correct in summarizing this as this is to make sure you don't do weird stuff around our kids? Is that kind of what this is? And codes of conduct?
There are elements of that, of course, in terms of, you know, the length of volunteer work that any one of our community members could partake in, what type of projects, what kind of school projects. It has to be school-based, based on need, length of time. There's also, in terms of background checks, there's information there of, you know, what is a non-negotiable item in your background that will exclude you from being a volunteer for the school district.
Yeah, so if you've taken the tag off your mattress.
Can't volunteer.
Okay, let's open up the other one, please. Let's have a little commentary on this one, whatever it is.
So I believe, Alex, you have the AR up, correct? So this one goes just like any other AR. Board policies. Board policies typically general terms, kind of in theory, you know, what the policy is about, but the administrative regs goes into the nuts and bolts of, you know, how to actually roll out the policy. So the AR that you see here, 1240 volunteer assistance, it goes on to volunteering, you know, projects, you know, what the school site is responsible for the approximate start time and end time of the project based on need. It cannot necessarily be just this ongoing project that's going to take 10 months worth of time. It also goes into, like I mentioned, criminal background check, and per ed code, what are those offenses that might appear on a background check that are non-negotiables for a school district, qualifications, as well as an outline of duties of volunteers in terms of, you know, who, you know, what type of work they could do, as well as the type of supervision they could have over students and what type of supervision they cannot have over students.
So the main thing, what I just did is got both these documents on the record, on video, up on a screen. So when I have to go back there and there's somebody dumps something in my lap, we all saw it. We know if you fit these categories out there in television land, don't come here. But we're very clear about that. Okay. There's nothing to vote on. This was the first read. We'll vote on it next time. It is time for my most favorite section of the show. Board member comments. Bill, take over.
Well, thank you all for being here. I want to especially thank Celeste and Miss Torres for taking the girls to cheer camp. They had a great time. They learned a lot, and I think they're going to do a great job. So thank you for, yes, no problem. Miss Lepp, thank you for everything you've done. Everybody else has thanked you, but you know, you helped that guy over there a lot. So thank you. And just, yeah, thank everybody. All right, here we go. So you.
I want to officially welcome everybody back. Thank you for your great presentations today. There was a new employee who came to me and asked and told me about the orientation that they had with I think at Vasquez High School. But what resonated with me most is that they got on a bus and they drove through the city of Acton. And I think that's outstanding to show people our community, to show people, because they may not live here. They may work, you know, live somewhere else and work here, but to show them what makes us great is outstanding. I thank you for that. I appreciate that effort.
I would like also to welcome everybody back. It's a very exciting, stressful, busy time of year. I want to thank the staff that's putting in so much effort to make sure that everything and everybody is ready, prepared, for the first day of school next week. I also want to, thank the coaches and the staff and the players and parents that have been working hard all summer to get ready for some games and events and all of that for us to go out and watch. Starting this fall, getting excited for all the fall sports. I did get to attend both football fundraisers and the cross country fundraiser. Always a good time to attend a La Cabana fundraiser. So thank you very much for having those. And I'm looking forward to the cheer one in September. I do want to give a huge shout out to La Cabana. They, for years and years, they are just an ongoing supporter of not just our football teams, but other nonprofits in the area as well. And they are so incredibly generous to our sports, our youth, they're just fantastic. So huge shout out to La Cabana and to all of the other businesses that continually support our kids. So I've said it 100 times and I'll say it 1,000 times more. Support the businesses that support our kids. I strongly encourage you to look at who's sponsoring our kids, who's sponsoring Sierra, who's sponsoring soccer, and who's sponsoring our high school football teams and our junior high teams, and really support those businesses and show them how much we appreciate them for supporting our kids. I'm just excited for what's coming up the next month. So
That's it. Definitely welcome back, everyone. There does seem to be a bit of an energy about the beginning of this year that I don't know that I've felt before. It's wonderful to have nearly a full staff, so thank you to HR. It's definitely a great thing to have there. And yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Okay, first off, objects are younger than they appear. Okay, sorry, cross-country team, I almost skipped you over, but it's payback time. We have skipped over one of the most important new student groups in our district. Do you know who they are? They are, I'd like a moment of prayer or silence for our newest club, the children of board members who are forced to stay until the end of the meeting. That's it, everybody. Thank you for coming tonight. There is an energy in this room, that's for sure. So. Picking up stuff. Okay, I won't throw Mountain Dew cans out the window anymore. Perfect. Are they gonna have a barbecue to get me out of here? No? Remember that one? That was great, right? Okay, guys, anybody else? We're good. We will now talk about, I almost forgot stuff. The calendar. We have regular board meeting of August 22nd. Is there anybody that anticipates they're not going to be able to participate, or we're not going to have a quorum? That's a really important meeting. We're going to talk about this new voting, zoning and whatever. Everybody good? And let's check our calendars for September 12th, 2024. Everybody good? Good. Number 15, future agenda items. Does any of the board have anything they want to, for a future agenda item? Good, hearing none. The superintendent has counseling service presentation, strategic plan, quarterly update. I think that's good. With that said, I will move for adjournment of this meeting at 9:39.
I'll second.
Meeting's still going on. Call it.
Mays,
D'Souza.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
That's got it.
Cheerleaders band. Paul's graph, aye. We're done. Thank you.